You're listening to the Valley Labor Report with David Story and Jacob Morrison.
Folks, welcome back to the Valley Labor Report. My name is Jacob Morrison, here with my co-host David Story. It is Open Line Saturday. If you want to talk to us about anything, give us a call at 1-866-494-9866. That is 1-866-494-WVNN. At the last Saturday of every month, we try to set aside to take calls and answer questions that we get from social media and everything. And sometimes we'll start off with somebody already on the line just to kind of get things moving. And this weekend we started off with Rick Neighbors. He is running for Congress in the 4th Congressional District of Alabama. And I do really want to encourage people to actually, if you're in the 4th Congressional District or you know people in the 4th Congressional District, do your homework and learn about Rick Neighbors. I would be willing to bet money that if you wanted to, he would go and meet you and get coffee with you, or at least respond to an email or something about why he's running. I'm sure he's got a lot of stuff on his website, and I'm sure that some of the people on his campaign could answer questions for you. And I doubt that you'll get that much responsiveness from Adderholt. But you can. He's got a 24-year-long record. You don't have to ask him questions. You can see what he's done. And I really want to encourage people doing their homework, because I feel like that does not happen nearly enough anywhere in Alabama, in Kentucky, anywhere in the United States. I feel like people don't do their homework, because here in Alabama, in 2018, we had some people running in statewide races where the Democrats were, by any metric, they were the best people for the job. Take the people that were running for the Public Service Commission as Democrats in 2018. We had Cara McClure and Kara. I forgot her last name, but it was Cara and Kara were the two women that were running for Public Service Commission, and they were running on a platform of lowering utility bills, of cutting financial ties from the people that were running the Public Service Commission to the privately owned government-mandated monopoly that is Alabama Power.
They're supposed to regulate.
Yeah, that they're supposed to regulate. They were running on a platform of cutting energy taxes. Okay, they were running on a platform of better services, cheaper services, lower taxes, more in a government with more integrity, and they lost by the same amount, by the same percentage that every single other Democrat lost running statewide. But I would be willing to bet if most of these people actually looked at what they were running on, and they looked at their opponents whose campaigns were totally funded by Alabama Power, who were running on keeping energy taxes higher, keeping utility bills higher, maintaining this incestuous relationship with the government-mandated private monopoly that they're supposed to be regulating, keeping that the status quo, they would have voted for the Democrats. But because they had a D next to their name, they voted for the Republicans. Yeah. Do your homework is all I'm saying. And then in was it Illinois, maybe? There was a person who ran for sheriff. It was a transgender Satanist anarchist who was running on a platform of F the police. She won the Republican nomination for sheriff in some county in what was it, Maine?
I can't remember. It's been a few years back, but I remember
it was
reading
recently.
that.
It was a few months back that this happened.
Okay, well then we're talking about something different.
Yeah, and people still voted for her because they just there's an R next to her name, and she won the Republican nomination. It's crazy. She got thousands of votes, and these people wouldn't have even looked at her if they had known who she was and what she was about. But because she hasn't had an R next to her name, they bubbled they filled in the bubble that was next to her name, and I mean, you gotta do you know, voting is a right, and with that comes the responsibility of knowing who the heck you are voting for. It's really important. And just because somebody has an R next to their name or a D next to their name does not mean that they have your best interest at heart, that they will be the best for the people of Alabama, for the people in your district. I mean, you've got to make educated decisions. You've got to make an educated vote. And like I said, like in 2018, those people that were running for the Public Service Commission as Democrats, they were clearly, if you're a small government conservative person, like they were your gals, okay? And they lost.
Yeah, I mean, I say it all the time, and what you're saying makes perfectly good sense, but you've also got to continue through the next 4, 6, 2 years in some cases, and hold your elected representatives responsible. Absolutely. You can't just vote and say, I'm done with my civic duty. Right. Your civic duty is ensuring that these people are doing your job. Mm-hmm. And, you know, as one of the things that a good brother, Douglas Williams, who you know from Twitter, yes. You know, when I was at W3, told us before we went to lobby our senators and House of Representatives in D.C., these people are not your idols. Mm-hmm. They are not your heroes. Mm-hmm. They are your servants. Mm-hmm. And they are there to do the job for you. And you should treat them that way. They're no different than someone that you hire to do a job, and you tell them what job you want done. And if they're not doing it good enough, then you call them and demand that they represent your best interests. But we stop. We think, right. Okay, I've got the people in office that I wanted, that I thought that I wanted in office. I'm done for 4 years, and it never ends. It is a never-ending battle to keep, because there's always money at play.
Yeah, of course. Like, voting and knowing who you're voting for is like it's not even the minimum. Like, the minimum is like keeping on them. So like, you're not even reaching the minimum by doing your homework and knowing who you're voting for and then voting. You've got to like keep the fire under their feet.
And anybody, you know, you see this meme come around every once in a while that basically says, you're not interested in politics, your landlord is, yes. Your boss is. All of these people are very interested in politics because they understand where leverage comes from, mm-hmm. and who gets funded and how they get funded. Right. And that's why we've got basically corporations running America these days.
Right. Yeah. It's exactly right. Like, the people in power care about politics, and you can tell that the people, you know, the higher the income the person has, the more likely they are to vote, and there's a reason for that. So give us a call on the other side. 1-866-494-9866 is the number. It is Open Line Saturday. We'll talk to you in just a minute. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate your time. If you want to see what we're up to throughout the week and get our snide quips about the news of the day, then you should follow us on social media. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/Valley Labor Report. We're on Twitter at Labor Reporters. I'm on Twitter at JacobM_AL. David is on Twitter at Radical Unionist. That's spelled RADICL Unionist. If you missed part of the show and want to go back and watch it later, search YouTube for The Valley Labor Report and subscribe to our channel. You can go back and watch the full show there, and we also clip segments throughout the week. And we also upload the program on more than 11 different podcasting apps. So you can see if we're on your listening platform of choice. You can go to thevalleylaborreport.transistor.fm/subscribe. And if you appreciate our work and want to help us stay on the air, then consider throwing us a couple dollars a month on patreon.com/The Valley Labor Report.